Today is a great day for me. Why do you ask? Because I get to report on news that there still isn't a word on Serebii and Bulbagarden on. And it's the fact that the Pokémon Gray domain name has been registered, which all but confirms that the deluxe version for Black and White is going to be called Pokémon Gray. And the fact that that is being done now, it's yet another hint that maybe we might get a December announcement, though it's still not a guarantee, of course. They could still be keeping it for the usual February, March time frame, but it's still perfectly possible. But yeah, the deluxe version is going to be called Pokémon Gray, and I'm a bit disappointed. I mean, is there anything more dull than Gray? Yeah, thought so too. It's not going to move too many copies. The title, I mean. Of course, it's what's in the game that's important, but for the title, meh. They might have been able to do something better. Like, I don't know, some people suggested Chrome, for example. Though if they did that, maybe they'd get a lawsuit from Google over the right to use the word Chrome. It's sort of like the ongoing lawsuit for the right to use the word scrolls in video game titles. And about that, I just have this to say. If you're stupid enough to buy a game simply called Scrolls, expecting The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, then you deserve to be ripped off. And I sincerely hope that Notch wins the lawsuit because, I mean, come on now. We're not talking about the same title of game. There's one that's a lot longer than the other, and yeah, I think it's about time that we as a society stopped catering to stupid people because they're just holding the rest of us back in a way. But that's enough about that. Just something that I wanted to come back on. In the last video, I talked about the possibilities of Pokémon Gray maybe being on the 3DS, and a few people who actually have technical know-how of how the various handhelds are made. I got to talk to a few of these people that are in my viewership, by the way, so I think I can trust you guys. And every single person who wasn't just speculating said the same thing. It's not possible to copy-paste a DS game onto a 3DS cartridge, add some 3D, and call it a day. So what this means essentially is that if they want to do a 3DS version of Pokémon Gray, even if it's the only one or if it's one or two with a sister DS version, they would have to remake the entire game from the ground up. And they're probably not going to do that because it would increase the production costs drastically. And there's the issue that I haven't actually talked about. It's the whole resolution thing. On the 3DS, when you play DS games, you have the option of either stretching the game so that it fills the whole screen, but it looks a bit weird until you get used to it. Or you can press a certain button combination that I am forgetting right now to actually have the games run in their native resolution, but each screen is only going to take about a fourth of the space available, a fourth, a third maybe, but it's still a rather small fraction of the game. So, as Proton John would call it, that would be playing a game in squinto vision, and that's something that I tried out for kicks, and no, it just doesn't work very well. So that would be yet another issue that they would need to solve if they ever want to remake those games for the 3DS. And by the way, a really good question one of you asked me regarding possible Generation 3 remakes. It has nothing to do with when they're going to be done. I still think they're going to wait until Generation 6. But whenever they decide to do it, you know, Heart Gold and Soul Silver, for example, it's a remake of Gold and Silver, but with several features of Crystal that have been added in. In fact, all of them have been implemented except for the for the odd egg that you get from the daycare, and there were no real contradictions in terms of what happened in those 3 games. However, it's a bit different in Generation 3 because in Ruby, Team Aqua are the good guys, Team Magma are the bad guys, in Sapphire it's the reverse, and in Emerald, both teams are bad guys. So, if they ever remake that, are they going to go with simply the plots from Ruby and Sapphire, or are they going to try and work in some elements from Emerald? Of course, they're going to work in Emerald elements that have only to do with gameplay, such as the Battle Frontier, the Desert Underpass, the new Safari Zone areas, stuff like that. But as far as the plot goes, how are they going to handle it? Could they just have the Emerald plot split into 2 different games and have the only real difference between the 2 be the version exclusives, and maybe something pertaining to Kyogre and Groudon? Maybe have Kyogre or Groudon catchable earlier, because in Emerald it was Rayquaza, and as a result you don't really want Rayquaza to be the one member in the Uber trio that's obtainable before the national dex in both versions. So maybe if they want to work Emerald's plot in, they're going to have to do some serious twisting around in order to make it work. So that's something they're going to have to consider if they eventually decide to make a remake. Now, if I remember, yeah, this guy's a black belt, so I'm gonna pull Pupitar out in favor of Gengar for this battle. Yeah, not very many friendly battles for Pupitar here, but oh well, doesn't really matter. It's still rather close to evolving, and we're coming up on the Vermilion gym, which should be very friendly towards it. By the way, a fun story that one of you guys told me. You know how I love stupid AI stories and stuff like that? Well, one of you was kind enough to send me a story that took place on the battle subway. Thanks to Kenji Katana for this little story. It's his Ferrothorn against the opponent's Bastiodon. What happened was that the Ferrothorn tried to use Substitute, but Bastiodon used Taunt, so couldn't do the substitute, so the guy decides to keep Ferrothorn in to scout what Bastiodon is going to do, and it does Iron Head, which results in Iron Barb's damage, and Ferrothorn recovers the entirety of the damage through leftovers. So the battle goes on and on and on, and Bastiodon eventually kills itself with Iron Barb's damage, while Ferrothorn is just sitting there chilling. Yeah, this is not something I recommend doing in a real battle, because Bastiodon just doesn't have the stats to do jack shit to Ferrothorn. Anyway, I believe that now we are done with the SS Aqua for good this time, so I'm gonna leave the boat. By the way, I went to sleep in between videos, so this is why I can leave. For if you happen to be following along for some reason. And yeah, now we're gonna head to the gym, but first I'm just gonna heal my team. The Vermilion gym, yeah, everyone should remember it as the ultimate speedrun killer of Generation 1. Back then, you know, there was this shitty puzzle where you had to find 2 switches that were in trash cans, and the only clue you had with you was that the switch, the 2 switches are right next to each other, but if you press the first switch and you fail to find the second switch in one try, the location of the switches are reset. So it's really aggravating. It's not even skill-based. It's just, you know, just check trash cans and hope to get lucky. This is stupid. Anyway, as you see, we have to use cut to enter the gym. But you know what? Screw that. We're just gonna surf around it instead. And by the way, yeah, we are witnessing the official debut in this LP of Kanto battle music. Now, Kanto battle music in Gold Silver Crystal was absolutely horrid. They just took part of the song, had it suck, and that was about it. But in this game, they spent a whole lot more effort actually making these sound compelling. They sound a lot more like their Generation 1 counterparts, for one. So here we go, Vermilion City Pokemon Gym. Lieutenant Surge, the Lightning American, or would it be the Lightning Unovian now? Oh, whatever. You lucked out this time. What? Isn't the puzzle back? Okay, so why am I lucky now? Why lucky, you may ask? Well, you gotta answer me. Because you can train yourself better that way. Bullshit! Bullshit! Train yourself better that... Oh, man, I ran into a double battle without even meaning to. Oh, well, I think it's Gengar who's in my second slot, so I can keep spamming Earthquake without much in the way of consequences. But yeah, train yourself better that way. Come on! This isn't even skill-based. This puzzle is entirely luck-based. This... I don't know who green-lighted this, but just a little history lesson. The puzzle that I was talking about earlier on, it was in Generation 1, but they took it out in Generation 2, either because they realized that it sucked monkey fuck, or because they were so rushed for time that they didn't even implement it, like lots of other things in Kanto. So why didn't they leave well enough alone? They brought the most annoying gym puzzle in existence back in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and you know, I'm all for making Kanto closer to what it was in the Kanto games, but when you take out a feature that was universally hated, you don't expect it to come back in remakes of that game. That's just... Pupitar is now level 54, one away from evolution, and yeah, I remembered right. I'm gonna teach it Stone Edge now. I'm gonna need to use some PP ups on this after this battle, but I think I only have 2 right now. So today's Thursday, which is lucky because on Tuesdays and Thursdays you can buy PP ups at the Pokethlon. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna head over to the Pokethlon Dome, do some challenges, and use the points to buy an extra PP up so that I can at least have 8 PP on Stone Edge. And the really irritating thing about that is that there are a few PP maxes that you can find lying around in the game, but they almost all require the Rock Climb HM, which you can only get once you've gotten all 16 badges. I remember that there is one such PP max on Route 40, on Route either 45 or 46. I don't remember on which route this particular stretch of land was, but it's near the Route 46 exit of the Dark Cave. I think I even showed you that rock climbable wall. I think there's another one in Diglett's Cave as well, but you need rock climb for that one too, so... Yeah, Gamefreak just loves taunting us with that kind of stuff. Destiny Bond? No thanks! I have no intention of letting this Gengar die anytime soon. But yeah, this, of course, this isn't nearly as bad as, okay, was it the Juggler who had 3 electrodes? Really bland lineup there. Usually when the trainer bothers using, fully evolved Pokemon, usually they're gonna have some variety, but 3 electrodes? Boring! But, yeah, as I was saying, it's nowhere near as bad as in Black and White, where you're in the ruins in the desert. If you go to the leftmost entrance, there's not really a whole lot you can do. There's a ledge you can jump off, and on the other side of that ledge, there is the Earthquake TM, but you can't grab it until the post-game. Of course, it makes sense, because after that you can give Earthquake to every single Pokemon in your army, but... Still, I think we all wanted to punch someone in the face when we realized how hardcore we were trolled. So, with that impromptu double battle out of the way, this is going to be the end for today. Before I go on in the next part, I'm going to try and have Stone Edge's PP up to 8. And next time, I'm going to try and do this annoying trash can puzzle Why did they have to bring it back? Why did you do that, Gamefreak?